All right. Big night of boxing, crazy result. Let's talk about Daniel Dubois shaking things up at Wembley.
The heavyweight division is never short on drama, that's for sure.
96,000 people, a record crowd, to see Dubois knock out Anthony Joshua and keep that IBF title. I have to imagine not many people saw that coming.
Not a soul. Nobody had Dubois winning that fight, let alone knocking Joshua out cold.
It's going to be a wild ride unpacking this fight.
Buckle up.
We've got the blow-by-blow, expert analysis, even some colorful commentary from ringside to really bring us into that electric atmosphere.
Love it when you get those first-hand accounts. You really get a feel for the fight, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But first, let's set the stage. Coming into this fight, was Dubois even on anyone's radar as a serious threat to Joshua?
Honestly, no. Most people saw this as Joshua's big comeback night.
He was a two-time champ, after all.
Exactly. He had a couple decent wins recently, and the boxing world was ready to crown him again. Dubois was. Well, he was the champ on paper, but
To keeping the seat warm.
pretty much. This was supposed to be Joshua's stepping stone back to title contention, a chance to remind everyone who's boss.
So the pressure was really on Joshua to not just win, but to make a statement.
100%. A dominant win puts him back in the conversation for the undisputed title. A loss. That's a serious setback. And, well,
We saw how it played out.
high stakes,
Nice.
especially for Joshua.
So take us back to last night. Wembley Stadium, the roar of the crowd, set the scene for us.
Electric. Wembley is always buzzing for a Joshua fight, but this one, there was something different in the air. Maybe it was the All-British Showdown, or the weight of Joshua's legacy on the line, I don't know. But the energy was off the charts.
And then, first round, out of nowhere. Bam. Dubois drops him. I'm still trying to process it.
Nobody saw that coming. Dubois came out swinging like a man possessed, landed a picture-perfect overhand right on Joshua's jaw. It was brutal.
Brutal but beautiful. The technique, the timing, it was a thing of beauty.
Dubois wasn't intimidated at all, not by the moment, not by Joshua's reputation. He came to fight.
You could see the shock in Joshua's eyes. Our ringside reporter said his legs looked wobbly after that knockdown. You've seen countless fights. Did he ever really recover from that?
It's tough to say for sure, but that knockdown definitely rattled Joshua, planted a seed of doubt, you know. Even if his legs were steady, his mind, his confidence, I don't think it was ever the same after that first round.
So Joshua's confidence is shaken, but the fight goes on. What happens in the second?
Joshua tries to weather the storm. You could tell he was wary of Dubois' power, though, a lot more clinching, trying to slow down the pace.
Smart, right? Take away Dubois' momentum, tire him out.
Smart in theory, but Dubois wasn't having it. He stayed aggressive, kept the pressure up, never let Joshua get comfortable.
Then there was that weird moment where Joshua, I think it was the third round, sticks his tongue out at Dubois. What was that about? Mind games.
Seemed more like frustration to me. I mean, this is Anthony Joshua, former champ, one of the biggest names in boxing, and he's resorting to childish taunts. It told me Dubois was getting to him, getting under his skin.
And it wasn't just the mind games. Dubois was landing some bombs. Didn't he send Joshua through the ropes at one point?
Third round, left hook, nearly ended the fight right there. Joshua barely beat the count.
I bet that was demoralizing.
You could see it in his eyes. He was hanging on, but the fight, it was slipping away from him.
Dubois came in as the underdog, but he was in control from the opening bell.
Exactly. He completely flipped the script. Dubois was dictating the pace, picking his shots. It was like watching a seasoned pro dismantle a rookie, not the other way around.
And then, of course, we have to talk about that controversial moment in the fourth round.
The almost knockdown. Yeah.
It looked like a clean knockdown to me, but the ref called it a slip.
It was close. Dubois landed a brutal body shot. Joshua's legs buckled, but did his knee touch the canvas before Dubois' foot was down? It was a matter of inches.
A matter of inches that could have changed the entire fight.
That's boxing for you. 1 inch, 1 second. That's all it takes.
But even with the fight slipping away, Joshua rallies in the fifth. For a minute there, it felt like we might see one of those legendary Anthony Joshua comebacks.
He definitely had a moment. Landed a couple good shots. Dubois was on the back foot for a second. You could feel the energy shift in the stadium.
Our play-by-play commentator wrote, "The old lion is roaring back to life."
It was short-lived, though.
Because Dubois shuts it down.
And that's what makes Dubois' victory even more impressive. He faced adversity, took Joshua's best shot, and didn't back down. He showed real championship mettle.
He weathered the storm, regained control, and then boom.
Counter right hook, right on the button, textbook, lights out for Joshua. He was gone before he hit the canvas.
His corner threw in the towel, but it was over.
Oh, absolutely. No coming back from that shot. Referee would have stopped it anyway.
And just like that, Daniel Dubois, the underdog, the afterthought in most people's minds, pulls off one of the biggest upsets in boxing history.
Changing of the guard.
Yeah.
We've been talking about Joshua's comeback, but this was Dubois' coronation.
He seemed genuinely surprised in that moment, though.
He's a quiet guy, lets his fists do the talking. I think even he was shocked by what he had accomplished. I mean, this kid is young, relatively inexperienced on the big stage. To do that to Anthony Joshua.
It's a star-making performance.
No doubt about it.
And he found his voice afterwards, said, "I'm a gladiator. I'm a warrior to the bitter end." Pretty powerful stuff.
That's a champion talking right there. Dubois may be quiet, but he's got that fire, that heart. He showed the world he can hang with the best, that he can overcome adversity, and that when he sees an opening, he can end a fight with one punch.
Which begs the question, where does Dubois go from here? Is he in line for a shot at the undisputed title?
100%. This win puts him right at the top of the heavyweight division. And with Fury and Usyk about to battle it out for all the marbles,
We could see Dubois fighting for the undisputed title very soon.
don't bet against it. He's gone from relative unknown to a major player in the heavyweight division in the space of one fight.
Amazing what one punch can do. Speaking of which, we have to talk about Anthony Joshua. This loss, it has to sting.
It's a tough one, no doubt. This
Yeah.
wasn't just a loss, it was a statement. And it raises serious questions about his future.
He did say he has a rematch clause in the contract. Is that the right move for him at this stage of his career?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? It's a tough call. Part of me thinks Joshua's got to go for it. He's a proud champion. He's not going to want to end his career on a loss like that.
Especially to a guy like Dubois, who, let's be honest, most people saw as a stepping stone for Joshua's comeback.
Right. This wasn't in the script. But on the other hand,
What?
this loss, it might be a sign that it's time for Joshua to hang up the gloves.
He's only 34. That's not old for a heavyweight. Fury's older, Usyk's older.
True, but it's not just about age. It's about the miles on the clock.
All those wars in the ring.
Exactly. All those punches take their toll. And let's not forget, he's lost 4 of his last 5 fights.
So what do you think? Is it time for Joshua to call it a career?
It's his call, ultimately. But if he's not fully committed, if he's not willing to put in the work, the dedication it takes to be a champion at this level,
Maybe it's time to walk away.
it's never easy to see a great champion decline. But sometimes the smartest move is knowing when to walk away.
This fight, this whole night, it feels like a turning point for the heavyweight division.
Absolutely. The old guard is fading. We've got these young guns, these hungry lions like Dubois, ready to take their place.
And you've got Fury and Usyk still at the top of their game.
It's going to be fascinating to see how it all plays out. Who emerges from the pack? Who cements their legacy? The heavyweight division, it's wide open right now.
Dubois for the undisputed title. Can you imagine that?
I wouldn't rule it out. Stranger things have happened in boxing.
That's for sure. Expert speaker, this has been fantastic. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
My pleasure. Anytime I get to talk about the sweet science is a good time.
And to our listeners, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into one of the most shocking upsets in recent boxing history. Daniel Dubois reigns supreme, Anthony Joshua faces an uncertain future, and the heavyweight division is more exciting than ever. We'll be back next time with another deep dive into a topic that's sure to get you thinking, get you talking, and maybe even get you arguing with your friends. Until then, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.